I'm Paula Boland, and you are with Paula B Coaching, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hi, today's episode is about spirituality. So if that's something that you just are not into, you can tune off now, but I'm going to chat with you about how real estate and spirituality go together. Very interesting topic. I've thought a lot about it. And first I need to make a confession to you. For a long time, I was in the coaching space and did a lot of energetic work, spiritual work, faith-based work, all that kind of stuff in the coaching space, helping people build their business to millions. And meanwhile, as you've probably heard in other episodes, I was doing real estate. I was doing real estate as a way to support myself as a single mom, taking care of my son, being able to take care of, household stuff. I didn't have any other source of income except my coaching business. And it was taking a while for that thing to rock and roll. And so I was engaging in real estate. I was flipping houses. I had 11 rental houses at one time. I had Airbnbs, house down at the beach that I Airbnb'd out, all the things, right? So I spent time doing real estate as the core way of supporting myself, as the core way of getting me to my dreams, all the things behind the scenes. And by day, I would go do my coaching stuff, and I never talked about real estate or real estate investing with my clients. Didn't often talk about it with my family. I just sort of did this. And I got a confession to make. The reason I did it is because I was telling myself a big lie that real estate wasn't spiritual enough. And I was worried that if people knew that I did this as a form of supporting myself, that they would think I was you hear people say, all about the money, or, not spiritual, or not, based in faith or anything like that. It is so untrue. Now that I focus on this and I teach you this every single day, in my experience with real estate and real estate strategy, the idea of faith comes up. The idea of the spiritual journey comes up. When you start managing a lot of money, when you start talking about in the 3D world, if you'll call it that, in this worldly plane, you're going to have to face the other thoughts that you have about lack, abundance. You're going to have to face the thoughts of, is this universe really abundant? Is it really real for you to be able to do this, to have this? When you start playing in this world, it is honestly not only going to bring up your ability to think about numbers and be in strategy, it is going to poke your spiritual plane. I think this joyful experience of building millions of dollars allows you to freely move through that without all the angst, right? I mean, if you think about it, back when maybe you're not right now, or maybe you still are working your 9-to-5 job, right? And you just kind of go to your job and you do your job. You're probably, maybe praying for your day to be over, praying that you have enough. Somebody tell me amen if you think about this. If you get enough money, from you have enough left over at the end of the month, all the things, right? So your experience with that is sort of lack-based, right? If you really be honest about it, there maybe isn't enough. And me doing what everybody tells me to do, to go get a job, try to get a raise, all the things, it's still, not about maybe knowing or believing that there's abundance. But when you turn your head to making millions of dollars in real estate, and how do you do that? There's a component to this that you have to be able to understand and live in the idea that there is abundance. That you have to be able to understand and know that the universe or God or whatever you call it is giving and blessing. You have to. If you can't get there, you are not going to be able to really move in this world. It's all of this experience, bringing up big money, moving toward what you really want. It'll make you question where you are spiritually. It really will. And I think it's such a blessing because Now, instead of grubbing around and worrying about, well, when I have, if I have, then I could really look at doing the stuff of purpose that I've always wanted to do, right? Doing the stuff that I feel called to do, feeling the stuff that feels in alignment. Like, for instance, I have a nonprofit organization that I'm part of a nonprofit organization that helps women in developing countries make money and come out of poverty by investing in real estate. I teach them how to do that, and they, go make money like the rest of us, investing in their own country and those kind of things, and come out of poverty that way. This is a really new model in that kind of a world. Usually we're just giving bread, or we're, making like a sewing job or something like this. This is a new model. Well, this has allowed me, my experience in the real estate world and my calling to be able to help other women all around the world, has been able to mesh together here. And me to be able to work in my calling and use these funds, use this idea, use this capacity to make it happen. And I don't know anyone who's in my world, in my world learning, in my world of coaching, that doesn't have a higher purpose to why they're doing this. They have their higher purpose is, helping other people. I almost always hear that from women in particular. I want to have enough money to help other people. When I make enough money from this, I want to turn around and help other people, give some money to other people so they could do this too and come out of, make it big and all the things. And I'm not talking about, this is not just for people that are living in poverty. In fact, it's kind of hard to do real estate when you don't have any money. I'm just going to be honest about that, right? So, this is really about your journey and your journey of finding purpose, acting on your purpose. And then let's add the next piece. Also the journey of knowing there's abundance, to know and be faithful that things are going to work out, that you can do this, have faith in yourself, have faith in God, or whatever you call it, the universe, that it's going to be okay. That's all part of this journey. And every single blessing that comes about, the money, the new relationships, the new ideas, the creativity, making neighborhoods better because you've improved a house and it's prettier in the neighborhood, of having a new family move into a house that you've provided. This is all really, really spiritual stuff. You're not doing it because of the strategy behind it or just to make money, right? Making money is fine, but the journey of blessings, the journey of allowance, the journey of really knowing abundance and living in that is going to be part of your expansion in this. It is not that, real estate is just about money and hide it. It's just about strategy. This is the best conduit that can bring it together. And then if we add in the piece of legacy, what are you leaving behind? How are you going to live now that you're, taking care of yourself and your health? If you don't have money, you really can't always buy good health care. Even, now these even programs and employers offer, you still are paying in and having this and having that. I mean, the ability to have the money helps you have the good health. And health is what? Well, health is, if you don't have good health, you don't have much, right? So it's the health, it's the taking care of your children, it's the taking care of yourself, how you want to live. And then what are you going to leave behind, right? What are you going to leave behind? Well, somebody watched you build an empire, your kids. Somebody watched you do that. You were in a bad relationship and you decided to take back your life and walked on faith. You had some money to invest. You invested it this way and you became a multimillionaire. You're leaving a legacy of someone watching you do this. You're also leaving a legacy of pride for yourself, right? You're building the money, you're building the resources, you're following through on the big dreams you have. That's the second thing. The third thing is, the legacy you're leaving behind to your children, like literally, physically. There's property, there's stuff, there's a business you're growing that you're going to leave behind. So I just want to, this is a short episode, but it's a very meaningful episode. And I want you to really dive in and think about this. And I'd love to see in the comments how you want to use what you would build in real estate to follow your purpose, to be able to help other people, to build a legacy. It's kind of like the why you want to do this, and it's bigger than money. Money's important. We're not saying it's not. I mean, it's a whole game changer. It literally changes your life to have a lot of money, right? And that's not bad. If you believe there's an abundant universe and an abundant God, or whatever you call it, you are going to be able to believe that you're supposed to be abundant, and it's not bad to have money, and that you're going to bless other people because you have it, okay? That's part of it, but the other part of it is all the other things that come along, is knowing you're blessed, knowing you're blessing other people, working from purpose, walking in your purpose, building a legacy, building the world, God's world, to be a better place, right? So all of this comes together and is part of this journey, and hiding it. I hear a lot of people say to me, and this is one of the reasons I decided to do this right now, is they say, I really want to come into your world and do this, but I don't want people to think I'm just about the money. And I have this really spiritual need, this need to be out there spiritually. And I just feel like real estate just would take away from that. And I want you to think hard about this, because really, instead of taking away from it, it brings it all together. You're going to have to face all of this. You're going to have to think where you lay in all of this as your wealth builds, as you create things. And you're going to have to be doing it in integrity. If in my world, you will do it in integrity, because I'm going to challenge you on that. I want it to be about integrity. And what are you doing to take care of the world as you do this? This is your great opportunity to be that, to become that, to live that, to know that, to show other people they can have that too. So I don't think you need to hide this. I don't think you need to be afraid of it. I think you need to, really embrace it. And I hid it for many years. I did this really quietly. And when I turned around and really said, wow, this is my zone of genius, my if you want to say manifestations, my energy, my abundance, and seeing in abundance and ability to live in abundance exploded. And yours will too.